19, 26, 36, 41, 51, 61 development over there. With the correct amount of developing, I could move over there, and then there's nothing actually stopping me directly taking land for myself from the British. There could be other problems with what I'm about to do, but why don't we just invest in it, right? What's the worst that could happen? There is a shred of chance here. Okay, it's a bit more than a shred. That I have completely forgotten how capital movement actually works, and I'm just going to embarrass myself by imploding my country a bit here, but let's do it. Ottomans will declare on you if they finish their war before you finish GB. Potentially. This war might drag out, though, especially with Spain involved. And again, the Austrians are going to get crushed, we know that. Yeah, the war with the British could last a while as well. Not trivial, but if I wrap up the British fleet... Okay, no, it's very not trivial, isn't it? There could be problems, big problems with that. But I would really like to stick it to the British, so let's just take the sizable risk that it is. No, they're definitely going to declare... What the hell? Let's just try and move our capital first. Jake of old wouldn't have such problems. Oh yeah, that's consideration, isn't it? Right, before we do that, let's look at one thing here. If I wanted to move my capital to... I think this is a nice piratey province, actually. Let's see, temperate, it's coastline, it was my first colony in the New World. I like that already. I don't like its name, Dalvarken. If the chat has a better suggestion for that island and city name, I'm all for it. So if I wanted to move my capital there, why can't I? We can't move into or out of the Holy Roman Empire. Well, hard to disagree with that. I really don't want to leave the HRE. We're so cool, but let's just take a moment to remember that for a time, like a century pretty much, we were the Pirate King Elector of the HRE. And we were back in back in Bohemia. Well, I mean, the Empire's going to shambles anyway, so fare thee well. Oh man, Draken! What an idea! I mean, we already have the capital D. Draken. We'll call this one Dragon's View, in homage to the game that should never exist. Okay, that was kind of painful, but we did what we had to do there. And now I go, great, I'd like to move my capital now. And then the game's like, oh, there's more to it than that, of course. Only when our capital is the only province and a state on that continent will it be possible. So we have... oof, it's going to be expensive to do in more ways than one, isn't it? We have a bunch of states around here, so I'm just going to have to say goodbye to them. This will be costly. Really very costly, but I'll get them back. Don't you worry, girly. Were those our only states? I think they were. I never did state up either of these. So then I go, hey, can I do it now then? And the game goes, of course you can't. We only have 66 of our 150 development in the New World, just as I had suspected. But this is why I took these provinces, man. If only I'd waited for this one to be done, but I was not interested in the waiting game, of course. Hang on, didn't I have an edict here that I don't think I'm about to develop this one further, but I might, depending how expensive things get. It also has prosperity, which is super good. Still, I'm going off on tangents, as I often do. We want to have the development cost, and military... None of this is going to save me in any wars coming up. And I have covered wars, you know. Let's just get all this groovy stuff in here. This is also why I decided to fully core this stuff up earlier on. I'm not even going to look at the numbers just yet. I'm just going to fire off what we can and then see how's that going. And then it says, no, we have 81 of 165. Well, that's cool. Then I only have to do it a few more times. A few more times is easy. Also, 20 dev is a cool number, so let's push forward for 20 dev. Do I want to do a bit of admin? Not really, but I will. There we go. Lovely. with that, we can move our capital over here to Draken at enormous cost. And now, oh man, what if this actually isn't a colonial region province? That would be very funny for some people, but not for me. Okay, thank God. Colonial Eto Wayeli. That would have been hilarious. Now that we're in a colonial region, yeah, I could have exploited development in the old world. And that would have been a very clever thing to do, but I didn't do it because I'm evidently not in a clever mood tonight. Let's bin that edict, it's no longer all that necessary. And man, I'm in a one-province state, what a joke. Chalked that bug up just today after being aggravated by it before. Alright, well, that was expensive, but it was what it was. But we kept our most important and expensive state, and yeah... I don't want to restate Crete because it's it has these provinces that I'm definitely not going to take back, whereas Naxos definitely does, right? I want all these islands. These are all islands that should belong to me. So it makes sense for this to become a state again, and I don't have any problem coring it back up. On the flip side though, Crete is 25 whole development, so wouldn't it make a lot more sense to take it all back? 109 dev, 25 development, yeah. I'm weak enough to actually want that back, as it happens. And these as well. Is the idea to own as many islands? I don't need to own all the islands, but I can only own islands. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to want this state. Oh god, this is an awful state. Maybe let's ignore that one for a while. This state's even worse. Okay, ignore those two. Right, we made the big transition. We're sadly no longer in the HRE. Man, people are just abandoning ship on the HRE. But we made the big change and we can be happy enough with that. Kinda don't want to leave this as unprotected as it is, but as long as we have our ships here, it should be okay. Should be okay, right? Maybe I should always have a single galley here to protect the crossing. Alright, good. I'm very happy we made that happen. It's also going to be, well, not a lot faster, but a bit faster at least to get our colonies over here. For example, if I recall you and then send you... Okay, it takes a bit longer. Just getting a feel for that, of course. Now you can switch culture back to Venetian. I could, but I did all this colonizing in Greek. So we're going to stick to Greek cultural values, whatever those are. Now I've lost a whole bunch, well, all of my rivals as it happens. I can have Austria. I mean, I can really flip the bird to them. I don't care how they feel, and they hate me for leaving the Empire. Maybe having Austria as a rival will help me in my diplomacy. It's not like I lose any love for Spain. And I don't know what an opata is. They're those guys that I raid every now and then, aren't they? Hey, tell me about opata. Well, you're not very good at raiding them. I should definitely send some more light ships over here to effectively raid. Yeah, that's not even worth raiding at the moment. I want more ships. I always need more ships. Greek cultural values are taking out loans that you can't repay. Amen, brother. Our naval force limit actually looks pretty good after that move, because we never really lost out much, but it was expensive in Monarch points to do. Happy we could get it done though, and now we're in a pretty good position to go and kick some British, then Danish arse. And also after that, we need to think about how to expand more. The restriction has been removed from us now, right? We didn't want to take a whole lot of provinces in the old world because it would have made it harder to move. Now that we have moved, we can take what we want, and that means the British Isles kind of need to burn now, and then we don't have to just take this off of Denmark. We could take this, this, and this. I don't think we'll be popular for doing it, except popular with law enforcement, but we should still try to make it happen. So once... Oh, why am I even waiting? I have maritime ideas, the strongest ideas in the game. I repair in coastal sea zones. It would have sounded more dramatic if I had timed that for the turn of the month. I repair in coastal sea zones. There we go. Technically, Moria and Achaia are now an island. You mean today, right? Well, doesn't matter. As long as the map that matters says it's a land connection with Athens, that means it's a land connection to Constantinople, which means it is not an island. Could I still expel minorities? I don't think so. I am now in the new world after all. Right, we don't have a lot of transports, but it's going to have to do, and I need to figure out how best to deal with the British problem, and they are a problem. Look at these ridiculous costs I have, though. State maintenance went through the roof because now I have to pay hefty maintenance on all these guys, which means Venezia in particular, I don't want to be protecting trade anymore. Its cost is not worth it. It was for a long time when that was my capital state. Now it is certainly not. Although I could ask myself what I should do for this edict, because this is pretty much free. Manpower is actually pretty tempting here. Local manpower. Yeah, I'll make it so. Getting institution spread will be considerably harder for me. I'm just going to have to try hard, I suppose. I'm good at that. I'm a natural born tryhard. Look, the Ottomans are barely making any dent into Austria. I'm safe to fight the British. Although it'll probably be a pretty lengthy war, unfortunately. Oh, what? Okay, I will take unexpected for 500. The British declared war on me. Just as my heavies were approaching. I can just imagine it. Admiral Nelson standing out in the hilliest part of Wales he can find going, "They're not coming, sir. Their navy's been reduced to 12 transports. We'll take them out in a heartbeat. Alright, send off the diplomat to declare war." Then he sees the revenge of a Marylon approaching. He goes, "No, no, we've made a grave mistake." And yes, Great Britain, you have made a grave mistake. However, your mistake may be mitigated if you call in the Dutch. You didn't call in the Dutch, you say? Well, Britain, I think you're in for a particularly bad time. You know, when I fought the British in our fight earlier, it was fairly cathartic just destroying what they had, but this is going to be a special kind of hell for the British. What do they even expect to do? Actually, they have 20 transports, so I can't get too complacent here. If they manage to slip by me, actually, if they do slip by me, I have an army of galleys to wipe them off the face of the earth, so I don't have to worry that too much. Burgundy, however, is getting, or is about to get, slaughtered by coalition unless they have some good allies. But with East Frisia, Pomerania, Nassau, and Ferrara on their side, I don't think they have to fear. And I'm not being, whatever that word is. Ferrara is a beast, right? They're what Tuscany normally are in my games. Ferrara is ridiculously strong. And I knew if Duplo was around, he would go, "Ah, but of course, they're Italian, the greatest in the world," something like that. And then somebody would say, "God damn it, Lorenzo," and we'd all have a good laugh. Okay, so I can see where their navy is. It's pretty hard for me to keep tabs on them, but know that that is a problem. This is a reconquest of Man, so I'm already going to get ticking war score from that alone. That makes life easier for me. It's not going to make life easier for getting all these sweet provinces back for my my subject, right? They're going to mucho expenso, but you get reduced cost when you do things as defender. And the question I should have for myself is, what are we going to do to Britain? We're probably not going to 100% them, because there's still no way I can take on the bulk of their army, but at the very least, I can make things pretty rough for them in Ireland. Also, I spy their heavies. Let's have another, let's butt heads once again and see whose heavies are the heaviest. Reckless privateer. Good. Privateer as much as you can, because that money that we make out of Constantinople, oh, that's good. I mean, oh, that's good. Freaking love just privateering the world. It's a love that I discovered at the Polish LAN event. If you haven't been, I strongly recommend it. It's the definitive way to enjoy EU4, as I once said, and would continue to say, because it's really freaking good. But yes, being a menace to society then was pretty amazing. I don't think I'll be able to catch these guys up. I don't know where exactly they're going, but Shadow has good maneuver, but probably not good enough. Oh, well, no, I tell a filthy lie. We have caught up with them. But we have the better engagement width, not that they could fill it up, even if they tried. We got the morale, and since we're actually at war, let's not get complacent. I can increase my naval engagement width even further, and I will slaughter them. Cast them to the four corners. Oh, you baby! I didn't even have the Trophy Hunter achievement. During a battle against the British fleet, we managed to capture Margaret, the flagship they've prided themselves on so much in the past. Well, it's certainly an impressive ship. We did not only defeat it, but managed to bring it back more or less in one piece. Hopefully this will teach them the folly of testing our might in the oceans of the world. The Naxosian flag shall fly proudly over it. Oh, man. First I sink, then I capture. Oh, man. I know that we had previously taken the trade power thing here, because it's great for privateering, but man, if we were to board ships and capture flagships across the world, making truly a trophy cabinet, that would be something. No, we came out pretty damn good there. Expanding our heavy ship collection, something fierce. You get back to relative safety there. I don't want to have my my lights in any conceivable amount of trouble. However, damaged ships, there's no point in... Wait, what am I talking about? I have maritime ideas. I repair in coastal sea zones. God, I love maritime ideas. Most underrated ideas in the game. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I'm gonna have some ships stationed here, and by some ships I mean a ship, right here, so I can keep an eye on the British. Or rather, you guys at home can keep an eye on the British. I only have 2 eyes. You guys have 720 between you, I'm assuming. Yeah, the average person has less than 1 eye. Sorry, fewer than 1 eyes. Right, I'm in a bit of a pickle here, though. How do I get the British out of Ireland? I was able to do it before. Doesn't mean I'll be able to do it again, at least with ease. Let's have you guys dock there a bit and then see what can be done. What's probably best is that I don't do that. Let's do something a bit wiser here. 8. 8's a good number. 8 becomes 4, becomes 2. We'll get a bunch of 2s here. Yeah. Let's make all these 2 stacks board navies, and let's get these 2 ships out there. I can't block him here, so I need to make sure that our navy isn't blocking him from going at, because my main objective is to get Oliver de Clifford and his motley crew off of Ireland. Best option is what exactly? He's cleverly stationed himself up in Sutherland. I should keep my eye on that. So I dare say my best options exist in Cornwall, Camarath, and the others we could do in Tyne, but we run risk of being attacked there. So let's have our navy over there as well. You know, our bulky navy. Give these guys what's for. Also, while I'm going there, something that I think I missed out on before. Oh no, I didn't. I was imagining things as I often do. I don't have a spare 1 here. Oh yeah, you're just keeping a general eye on the situation. As long as I know where those British transports are, and they're right there, all 20 of them, we're good. And hey, this is kind of cool. He's actually working on settlement growth in London. So the capital is actually going to be pretty meaty at that rate. Alright. So I've got my eye on Oliver Clifford. So let's just... This is kind of suicidal for my units. But it's more important to be suicidal than pretty much anything else here. Yeah, that's better than Glamorgan. Your lives will be possibly remembered. And hey, if we score some occupations, all the better. But the main goal here is to leave Ireland ready for pickings. You're starting to sound like a Swede, says Nix, please. Let's not be bullying around here. I'm all for being mean, but that doesn't mean you have to bully people. We're not Neffy. There's no guarantee that this is actually going to... Oh, hang on. Were you always there? I wanted to have eyes on the situation up north. And I can still have eyes if I chuck a couple of units up here. Ah, well, there we go. They're already working on Hull. If I land in East March, I mean, that means you're just dead and really not serving me in any way, so let's cancel that one, but maintain what's going on in these other ones. I don't think he wants to dislodge himself from Ireland, though. Big risk and not big win, and he's working his way down here as well, which is unpleasant. Probably just gonna stack wipe some of those, but it's important for me to get the British off of Ireland. Anything I can do to stir them is worth it. Alright, Palatinate is in charge now. I'm kind of glad I jumped off this sinking ship, unless they managed to score some brutal alliances. Also, the Ottomans are tearing through Austria like they're wet tissue paper, including their navy. This is a bit concerning. No matter how good I think I am, I'm not going to be able to defend Venetia from 6 heavies, 5 lights, and 102 Ottoman galleys led by a 5 maneuver admiral. At least I have my early warning system. We've got to deal with the British first, though. We all know that. And yeah, these guys ain't gonna last. I think he's being very wisely hesitant in drawing his army out there. He's probably aware that he doesn't want to give up the strait. Yeah, I tried. I mean, these guys are going to die. There's no ifs or buts about that. My armies are pathetic. But it was all in an effort to draw these guys out, and it's not working. Ooh, search for Cibola is underway. Please, try your best. Your best. That's alright, I mean, it's not like that was worth a whole load of war score. Yeah, those British are not shunting away from Cork at all. I don't think dropping these guys in is going to make an oodle of difference. Going to arrive on in June. I mean, I can hold out for that, but I think they are not interested at all. Should have built that spy network, Jake. Hell, it's not like my diplomats are doing anything else. Okay, there's an alternative approach that we have here, and that is to fight and defeat the British in Ireland. That's a big ask. It's a fairly big ask. But we're not going to build up and defeat them by throwing our armies away here. We already threw away 4,000. And whilst the Admiralty is probably thrilled about that, I don't think anybody else is. We'll get them back to man, and we'll build up what we can. You guys are still happy there, and you're reinforcing as well, which is good, albeit costing you sailors. If you moved your boats out from the Irish Sea tile, would the AI consider moving? It's not impossible. Not impossible. Let's check and see what happens here. As long as I keep my eyes on them there. Native assimilation in Aspania. See what happens here. Probably not going to stir them. But you never know. Okay, I really don't want to just throw away my units here. You could bait the 28 by landing troops in your subject and having the Brits follow them across. Hey, now that's a pretty good idea. That's a pretty terrific idea, actually. I agree. How much am I willing to risk on this? A couple thousand. That might be a couple thousand more than is necessary, but let's see what happens here. Bok, 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 bok. Let's get Kathkiri on the case. The last time we didn't, it cost us dearly. What I really don't want is, uh-oh, what if they actually beat us to getting here, right? Oh no. Oh no. Abort, abort, abort. However, looks like that has roused that army to go and deal with the naval invasion that we have going on here. You could have trapped both of them on Ireland, Jake. I still don't think I would have been able to mince much going on here. I'd rather have Ireland. Okay, no, I'd much rather have all of this. But the risk is huge. The time investment is also huge. As long as he makes the commitment to cross the Irish Sea, I'm happy. I don't want to sacrifice these lives, sure, but looks like he's gunning for it. Let's make sure he's still a happy bunny in doing that. Considerably less of a happy bunny now. Unfortunate. I think he had a rethink of his idea. Ah, there we go. That's right, British. Get away. Ireland for the Irish. Oh man, I think my tongue caught fire when I said that. Alright, get the hell away from here. You have been baited by the bait master today. Let's go and take over Ireland. Enjoy some ticking war score, some actual land, and just generally be badass. I got no problem keeping these guys stationed here because they keep the British fleet in check, and nothing that he has here resembles a threat to me. Oh, now let's not get complacent here. I still need a navy here to stop them from coming out. Yeah, good enough. There we go. I mean, just look at the units they have. It's a fair chunk of them. All things considered, if I had 28 and 22 over here, I'd be a bit more comfortable taking on 15 and 5, but not fully. I mean, their units are so much better than ours. They're actually led. I hit rock bottom with army tradition. The only reason I'm getting it up a bit is because I lost those battles so badly. But that's okay. These were calculated risks, of course. I better replace them somewhat. I think we lost 6 in total. Let's rebuild them. And let's retake this. Didn't lose my cannons, thankfully. And when we can, let's get those cannons down on Desmond so that we have a fort. And it would be quite nice to grab some of my healthy light ships. How many do I have in total? 49. These ones and the ones over there. I'm going to break off half of them and tell them to go and just enact Operation Screw Great Britain. Because we all know the Ottomans are coming for us after this. You could try occupying the entirety of Ireland and pulling a switcheroo. Yes, this would likely get me more in the peace deal against Britain, but I need to be ready for the Ottomans because they're going to come for me. You know it, I know it. It's going to happen. Wait, I got all these transports here. That ain't good. Get them Get them over there, and do not accidentally leave yourself open for invasion. We are the invaders. There we go. 2 heavies and some transports having this in lockdown. What a joke for them.